Hey, I already know, right? I already know. This is backwards, but for some reason, Facebook Lives specifically have been acting really, really weird. So if I flip, right? So if I flip the camera the other way, things get like condensed and compressed. So I already know, guys, my writing here and stuff is going to be backwards, but it doesn't matter. Don't get too caught up in that. I just did a Zoom, but I figured that this is really good information and it's real quick and real easy to digest. So let me go ahead and present it here as well. And guys, take some notes here, but I'm going to present to you the best fat loss strategy that you are most likely not using right now. Now, fat loss means something different to everybody. Some people want to lose fat because they want the aesthetics, but also other people just want to lose fat because they want to be healthier, right? So if you're not familiar, there's basically two different forms of fat pairing, okay, which means when body fat accumulates on your body, it tends to do so in just two different ways. The first way is called pear shaping, right? The majority of females are pear shaped, meaning like they pack the fat on waist down. Okay, now most guys, again, they're apple shaped. So they actually pack the fat in the visceral abdominal area, and that's the most deadly, right? So the more fat you have on your body, specifically the abdominal area, the more likely you are to contract like every lifestyle disease out there, right? So you're talking about, diabetes, stroke, heart disease, and certain forms of cancer. So my objective today is to give you a strategy that I know works like it's job. And if you start doing it today and you're not doing it, get back to me in 3 to 6 weeks. You're going to lose a lot of body fat here, okay? Now, with that being said, I got to talk about two major principles because it's never just one thing. It's never one thing. So guys, right here, again, I know it's backwards. But hey, fat loss is optimized with training and recovery. Right? Starting to implement this will work, but you got to have a resistance training program to stimulate protein synthesis and muscle building. It's critical, right? It's critical. So right now that could be using your body weight, that could be bands, that could be something that's putting resistance through your body, right? Cardio doesn't have a lot of effect on large muscle groups unless you're sprinting. But let's be honest, most people when they do cardio, it's steady state. Now, hey, I'm not here to knock steady state cardio. It's great for your health. It's great for optimizing aerobic conditioning, all that stuff. I'm here to talk about fat loss. If you want to lose fat, you got to have what I'm about to show you. Number one. Number two, you got to be resistance training. But number three, you got to be recovering. Your sleep, your stress, your water. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now that a stressed body holds on to fat a lot differently than a body that's not stressed, right? That is well documented throughout research, okay? So that is the first thing I want to get out the way is this is not going to do it all for you, but this will get you a good start. Combine it with training and recovery. Getting shredded, right? Number two, fat loss optimizes metabolic functions, right? So when people think of fat loss, they think about restricting calories. I got to starve the fat off my body. That's not how it works. Optimizing metabolism means eating whole foods that create this environment to build muscle. Because muscle is your metabolic machinery. So the more muscle you have on your body, the more calories you burn at rest and all the exercise you do, thus enhancing fat loss capacity. So those are the two things I want to get out the way before we get going, because I didn't want anyone to think, I'm just going to do this and then this is going to work. And no, and guys, the strategy I'm about to show you has kept me lean for 17 years and going. And I can't tell you how many guys specifically I have helped go from like beer bellies to six packs. Okay, now I'm not saying you got to have a six-pack goal, but guys, if you want to lose body fat, which if you're watching this, you do, then start doing this. Now, again, I've already drawn on the board because I just did a Zoom, so just bear with me. But essentially, hopefully you guys can see this. Again, I know it's flipped around. I'm just going to keep reiterating that because people are like, dude, it's backwards. I know, because if I do it the other way, it looks all weird, okay. So, guys, here you can hopefully see this is Exhibit A, right? Exhibit A is a right side up triangle. Right? Can we see that? Thumbs up. Exhibit A, right side up triangle. Okay. Exhibit B, upside down triangle. Right? So we good on that? We got two triangles. A, right side up. B, upside down. Okay. Now, it's probably hard to tell because now I've scribbled around it. It was already pretty bad before. But guys, this is a stick figure. We're going to call this one Mrs. Jones. Right? So you can see Mrs. Jones got real narrow, small shoulders and a big waistline. right? I'm not judging nobody, right? Now let's say we got the health conscious Mrs. Jones, right? And hey, she's more toned and fit up top, and she's got a real small waistline, right? So hopefully you guys can see that, right? That the people around it are going to represent the triangles that I'm about to talk about. Okay, so first one here, Exhibit A, like most Americans. And guys, like right now, we're at about a solid 40% obesity rate here in North America as of, I think, 2019. That means almost 1 out of every 2 people have a BMI higher than 30, okay? So let's go through Mrs. Jones' typical day of eating, right? Rushes off to work. And hey, of course, I'm talking about maybe the normal times, right? But regardless, these are habits that she's following right now. But hey, wakes up, maybe sips coffee, doesn't have breakfast, right? So that's why the smallest portion of her pyramid's up top. Then we go down to lunch, right? Maybe she has like a couple snacks, not like a really solidified meal, but she's got a couple snacks in there, right? But then, man, by the time dinner comes, works aside, she can finally free her mind and realizes she's ravenous. Right? So maybe she's driving home from work, picks up something through a drive-through window, or hey, maybe by the time she gets home, the husband ordered something or prepared something, and she eats the majority of her calories at dinner. That's Exhibit A, right? That's example A. We'll call her Mrs. Jones 1, and then to not be sexist, this is not going to be Mr. Jones. This is going to be Mrs. Jones number 2, right? So now Mrs. Jones number 2, what does she do? Right? She wakes up, and you can see the largest portion of her pyramid is at the beginning. So what does Mrs. Jones do? She has a really well-balanced breakfast. Hey, lunch, she takes in a little bit less calories. And then dinner, the smallest portion of the pyramid, is the least. So what am I getting at? Guys, what I'm getting at right here, this is the strategy that if you follow will yield amazing results for you. If you don't believe me, then prove me wrong. Go do it for 3 to 6 weeks and come back and say, Coach, it didn't work, because that's not going to happen. But try to prove me wrong. What we're talking about is partitioning your calories. We're talking about front loading your calories, which means it doesn't matter if you wake up at 8 a.m. or you wake up at 8 p.m. to go to a shift job. Time is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Your body doesn't know exactly what time it is, but what it knows is energy consumption and energy expenditure, right? Now you might be thinking, oh yeah, man, but I saw this guy over here. He just puts butter in his coffee, and then he doesn't eat until like 2 days later, and he fasts and he's shredded. And like, hey guys, like sure, like there's always exceptions to the rule. But we are the rule. Most of us are. And guys, like most of the stuff that you hear and see online is actually garbage. It's not even real, right? It's not real. Like I can stand up here and say, guys, I'm in ketosis right now. I can flip this all around and say, you need to be doing keto. Look at me. I'm in ketosis. I'm not in ketosis. I love carbs, baby. So I'm just saying, be aware of that. But guys, so let's walk through what I'm really talking about. If you're not a breakfast eater right now, you need to start finding foods that you enjoy around breakfast time and start easing yourself into it. For example, if you haven't eaten breakfast in 20 years, don't wake up tomorrow and fix oats and scrambled eggs and orange, some fruit on the side. Like, it's going to be overwhelming. Maybe start with a banana, half a banana, but then work your way up. We'll talk about that in just a second. But we got to start getting ourselves to eat breakfast, then get a little bit smaller at lunch and a little smaller at dinner, right? The saying is, you eat breakfast like a king, right? Lunch like a prince, and dinner like a poor man. This is how you optimize metabolic function. And why is that, right? Why does this work? Well, it works because your body internally has tons of clocks, right? These internal biological clocks that are always getting reset. As soon as you wake up, there's things that are ticking and resetting and ticking and resetting. Every time you eat, something resets. Your hormones, your neurotransmitters, all these things are based off this circadian rhythm, and there's tons of them, right? So when you don't start your day out with energy and calories, and then you pack them at the end, this is how you shut down your metabolism. Guys, prove me wrong. Like I said, if you think this is all snake oil stuff, go do it for 3 to 6 weeks. But you got to do it consistently. I'm not talking about do this Monday through Friday and then just fast food and beer it out on Saturday, Sunday, and then come back and say it didn't work. I'm challenging you, right? 7 days a week for the next 3 to 6 weeks. Hey, all of May, go get a calendar. You know what? I'm going to do exactly what Coach Jeff said. I'm going to believe this crazy dude, and I'm going to make breakfast have the most calories and dinner have the least, and I'm going to mark it off every day for 30 days, and I'm going to tell this dude he's a liar. You're going to come back to me 15 pounds down and feeling like a rock star, actually. But that's the first part of it, okay, is going through that. So take a look plan your meals, but take a look at what you're doing now. And if you feel you're more on A and you start to get more towards B, you will benefit greatly from this diet strategy. The last little bonus tip I wanted to give you that I'll field any questions that you might have is I put right here, real sloppily, and again, I know it's backwards, but right here it says PCF, right? Protein, carbs, and fats. These are basically the three large macronutrients that your body uses to break down for fuel, sustenance, building, things like that. So what I would recommend, ready? Breakfast, PCFF, right? Lunch, PCF, dinner, PF. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm about to blow your minds, right? And this is coming from somebody who has maintained single-digit body fat for 17 years, and I grew up a big dude. So genetics, they're not on my side, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, if you can do this last little advanced, or not advanced, it's a bonus. If you can do this bonus tip, man, you're going to increase how quickly you lose body fat. And again, I know it's not about the speed, but it's going to optimize it. Let's say optimize, not speed things up. Carbohydrates are like high octane fuel, right? Think about it like this, like your body, it stores a lot of fat, right? It stores fat because it's energy dense, meaning it's a slow burner. Right, 1 gram of fat, if you were to, heat it up, it would release, right, about 9 units of energy per gram, right? Proteins and carbs are only 4 calories per gram, okay? So that's why your body stores fat predominantly. Now, carbohydrates, it stores a little bit. Stores it in your muscle tissue, in your brain, and a little bit in your liver. But you know what it doesn't store? It doesn't store a lot of protein, actually. And we'll get to that in a second. But what I'm saying is, guys, oh, hey, but coach, for dinner, I do grilled chicken breast and a sweet potato, and I love it. You tell me sweet potatoes are bad? No, I'm saying they're like wonderful for you. But what I'm saying is, as you're sleeping, no matter how active you are, if you have a fat loss goal, now if you're already lean, like, hey, I can get away with having carbs for dinner, because actually the leaner you are, the more carbs you need, but that's for a different time. But if fat loss is the goal, remember, keep the goal the goal. I'm not talking about performance. I'm not talking about boom, boom, boom. I'm talking about fat loss. If you are looking to get leaner, take carbs out of dinner. But I'm not saying to remove like a whole macronutrient from your diet. I'm just saying from dinner, but you still keep the energy in there and this the sustenance with the fat. So, hey, instead of like, hey, grilled chicken with a sweet potato and a side salad, hey, guess what? Like, I'm going to do a grilled chicken breast, a side salad, and then I'm going to drizzle like some extra virgin olive oil, some balsamic vinaigrette. Maybe I chop up some almonds or cashews in there. But that way you stay full, but you're not dumping all of this sugar into your body while you sleep, right? Because whatever your body doesn't need, it stores for later. And we just talked about what your body likes to store. It stores triglycerides as subcutaneous fat, right? So that's the advanced strategy. So again, pick a protein you enjoy for breakfast, a carb, and then a fat. Do it again for lunch with less calories, and then hey, for dinner, you're taking out the carbohydrates. Guys, if you do that, you will be losing body fat like it's your job, guaranteed. All right, so that's it, guys. That's the number one fat loss strategy that I believe will get everybody lean that you're probably not doing right now. And if you're doing it, maybe you're not doing it so consistently. So, guys, you need to assess your current eating habits. If you never food journaled, now's a great time. Why? It's May 1st. And you got more time than normal, so let's get into it. Whether you journal on MyFitnessPal or you just write it down, start assessing, right? Because assessing will lead to awareness. You're like, oh, dang, I am just having a donut every day for breakfast. Probably not the best. Maybe I'm going to change it up. But take baby steps. Take baby steps on that, all right? But start assessing and then planning, right? Because now, once you assess, you feel a little bit like in control because you understand there's clarity. Then you can start building from there. All right, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed that. It works only 100% of the time, guys. Only 100% of the time will this strategy work, okay? So do you have any questions for me? Anything that you would like to know more about? Anything you need clarification? Did this make sense to everybody? Everything's good. I know it's backwards. It's flipped around a little bit, but hopefully you guys got the gist of the message there. You have any questions over that? Anything that you'd like to know more on, expand upon? Before I shut it down? Yeah, of course. It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure. Just think about front loading your calories, right? Front load your calories. And I'm not a big fan of like calorie tracking and numbers, But if you've never done it, it's a great exercise to do, because then you might realize, oh, wow, like breakfast is light and my lunch is really big and dinner's not so big. And so maybe dinner's not your largest meal right now, but maybe it's lunch, right? So you just need to shift it around, but you will greatly watch your body composition change, right? But guys, again, don't just do it Monday through Friday. Guys, a week is Monday through Sunday, right? Can you please confirm how many % of the time this will work? 100% of the time. Works every time, guaranteed. Guys, unless you have like some metabolic issue, this will work for everybody. And hey, maybe even that person, right? In fact, I've worked with a lot of people that, you know how I got them to lose fat? By getting them to actually eat more food. So don't fear the food. You just got to eat whole foods, right? You got to eat whole foods and follow that, follow this plan. It works every time, because we all want to be shaped like this, not like this. Nobody wants to be shaped like Humpty Dumpty. But guys, I used to be shaped like Humpty Dumpty. That's why I'm doing this, right? That's why I know it works. I've done it with so many other people, right? And I've learned from the best. Like, this was something I was doing before I learned about it, right? From Coach Scott Abel. Like this dude, yay, food. But Coach Scott Abel, he's been in this industry for like almost, I think it's 4.5 decades, but he's the one that kind of frontiered metabolic research and how you optimize metabolism, and how every Saturday I get to have a cheat meal and eat whatever I want, and the next day I wake up and my abs are raging, right? But it's because you follow the basic principle of optimizing metabolism. Most people don't think of eating to optimize. They think of eating to like restrict, right? Like, oh, I got to eat in less of this so I can, lose fat. You can't do that, right? You can't starve fat off your body. That's not how that works, actually. If you end up starving yourself, you lose the most precious thing on your body, which is your muscle tissue, right? So, you need to be in a deficit, but starvation has gone too far. So, any other questions you guys might have over front-loading calories, the carbohydrate partitioning, anything like that? And again, guys, please make sure that you get, there's something that, hey, like you can follow me to, hey, know when I go live. I'm going to maybe do more of these whiteboard series if you enjoyed this. Also, if you think there's somebody in your circle that can benefit from this, hey, tag them in the comments below. You can also click the share button, maybe share it on your timeline or share it in like a group that you're a part of to spread around this news. Because guys, guess what? I'm not selling you anything. I'm not selling you on my program. I'm not going to roll a supplement out in front of you. This is general knowledge that works. It's free. That's what I want to try to do. Honestly, my mission now is to provide, firstly, as much good quality information to my current customers, my students, but then the spillover is to everybody else, because the mission of a coach is to, make everybody else around them better. So again, that was the strategy, guys. Do it. You will lose body fat. Again, it's got to be combined with a training and recovery program. Okay, can't just do it all with diet alone. It'll get you somewhere, but it won't get you everywhere. Sorry, I got an itch right here. It's been getting me. I had to get that thing, man. So, any other questions, guys? Comments, concerns? If you actually have more specific questions about your own situation, feel free to send me a DM. You can also shoot me an email, coachjeff@tfwstockyards.com. I'd be more than happy just to field any questions that you might have around optimizing your metabolism. So there you go, guys. Hey, it's a great month. It's a great opportunity to start out some new habits. Make this habit a new one if you've never done it. Get a calendar, track it, piece of paper, track it, and get back to me at the end of this month. Let me know how it worked for you. All right. Appreciate you guys. Much love. Stay safe. Anything you guys need, hit me up. Until then, I'm signing out, man.